Greetings, YouTubers. This is more in regards to Price's, Weston A Price's thinking on life with regards to the primitive cultures that he studied. Certain values that were really influential to health and well-being, and it's really amazing now. Since the book was written back in 1939 until now, July 28th, 2019, how people behave and help one another or don't help one another compared to these primitive cultures. It's really rather astounding with his observations about this. I'd like your thoughts and opinions on the matter, and tell me if I'm going crazy or not. But the way I've seen it now, growing up in partially here in Connecticut, Southbury, then I moved to Maine when I was 24 till 49 years old, young, and I find it so amazing how we're like all kind of isolated. If you really think about it, okay, you're in the city, you're all together, but no, you're not. You know, you're separate in your room or your hotel. Like, there's not like groups of people like doing like the tribal type thing, or well, there's homesteading. What we have, what's trying to help. I think that's really helpful to do maybe that way for some people, and then also some people need to be isolated and want their space, but in these rural tribal areas, I don't recollect seeing, like even say Native American customs and cultures, they wouldn't have like outcasts or leave them out unless they did something really negligent or malign to the tribe. I think it's rather crazy now how the governments, everybody like to trying to separate you and brainwash you. I don't think I'm losing my mind about it either. I mean, it's not normal. We didn't have TV. I mean, money. What the hell is that going to be good for? I mean, it's good to travel. Okay, my thoughts on that. And then in Indian, Native American cultures had a bartering system of what they used as value and trade other cultures and people from around the world when people wanted goods or certain services. It's just not the way it is now. It just seems more like corrupt. It's not normal to have one guy, a president, one person. I mean, I think that's crazy in and of itself. It really is. Come on. I mean, to control everything. It seems like absolute nonsense. It should be restructured. The program, not telling you to do this or that. Things are being bought out with this makeup, artificial money. Like, how much money do you have? I mean, I never heard of such craziness. What would it matter 2,000 years ago? How much money you have? Well, what's that going to do? Unless you got more goddesses or something, then you're lucky there. Or something, you're the king or the queen. It doesn't make sense how we're all like set in a cubby. You watch TV, you're brainwashed. What you're watching, no one believes everything they watch, but they push and push, and ingrained in your head all these crazy ideas. Buying food that's so unhealthy for you. I mean, that's another thing. The food quality is horrendous. And then how much? What do you eat? Like per day? How many meals a day? I mean, come on, it's insane. Oh, you got to have this amount. Have this. This is recommended. That's horse crap. Since when is that the way we're supposed to be? It's like everything's all just with the pharmaceutical, like they're all trying to bind together. Pharmaceutical, oil company, I mean, polluting the environment. I mean, all this crazy stuff. I mean, the primitive people weren't like this, and here we go. But I mean, of course, you want to travel, and you can't just go, oh, leave it be, let everything be how it was supposed to have been. Of course you can't, because of greed and how people think, their mentality. You don't want another Hitler, that Looney Tune, the mental derangement. Um, but yeah, and then what people eat for food, it does make a difference, in how you behave with behavior. Uh, that's what Price recognized in his book. A lot of jail time and people eating jail. They're eating refined white flour, refined white sugar foods, modern foods, canned goods. That stuff's all crap. You shouldn't eat it, no matter what. Throw the stuff out. You read that book by Price and you'll throw it out. I'm telling you. Nutrition and Physical Degeneration. The title is the absolute crappy title. It should have had a different name altogether. But anyways, aside from that, I mean, just how people are, everybody's segregated. It ain't normal. Every family, who's got what, who makes this for money, how you follow up. It's all crazy. Imagine everybody helped one another. You share. Someone goes hunting, they do the hunting, they give you the game meat, and then someone else, they'll cut your wood. Like say if you needed that, if you use wood, or they help you like with the naturopathic means for your health or your family's health if you got kids or children. With these medicinal herbs that you could find naturally, and if they took care of them and present them to you themselves to help your condition or your family members or cousins or whatever, that's like a big asset. We don't have that. You look back, and that's why Native Americans was trying. I got Native American blood in me, and I didn't know about it until like 5 years ago. I'm sad to say, and totally blown away. I mean, I was devastated. I mean, it's just insanity. Like my heritage, my genealogy pool is mostly Polish, Irish, and then Native American, and then I got a little bit of German and Russian. But I gotta get that test done. But I don't think that's going to help with the Polish, Polish, Russian, German. I think that's all together, so that's not really going to tell me what my gene pool is. But yeah, I mean, your thoughts on how people behave now, and is it healthy to act this way due to diet and also like your fitness level? I mean, with Price's stuff, he did the studies. Okay, it was focused on the dentistry, the teeth and all mostly, and then the children, the people at the birth, having healthy kids and all. They had special diets and whatnot. There was like 4 factors to me: was the diet for your teeth, the diet, nutrition impact on having healthy kids with the teeth, and then their appearance factor, the jawbone structure, how it looked, your physical features. That was one. Then the soil composition of the soil for like having organic food compared to modernized, sprayed with pesticides and herbicides. That's a vast difference. And wild forage food. Those things are, crucial for your health and how you think, your thought processes. And I was interested to know or hear opinions on what people thought when they eat really well, no matter what their diet, and they exercise well, and they feel great, or how they think, their behavior, and then is it normal to everyone? It seems to me everybody, even if you got a family, you're in a home, you're still kind of isolated. That's how I see it. It's not normal. You got a big TV. I mean, we waste so much everything. I compare that with like Native Americans. They got their teepees they used to have, and they're happy, humble, sharing with their knowledge of hunting, fishing, trapping, whatever. They keep you happy and humble you. I mean, it's out of control. this day and age. I mean, there's got to be drastic measures taken. You got to read the right information. I highly recommend on a worldwide scale the Price's book. I mean, that's crazy not to. I mean, that's like that's like a common denominator for me in how it changed my life permanently. How you look at somebody. I mean, who in the right mind would tell you that? You look at someone, you don't judge them, but you know what their parents had for food and all. And it's crazy, and that's why, you need to have this sharing and bonding with other people more than just like your family. Even homesteading sounds far more convenient. You help someone out with the finances, but it's like we didn't have finances way back. I mean, why go through all this trouble? Or people, if they have debts or whatever, they should just, the way these governments are, just eliminate it, just stop it rather than having to collect it. It's just artificial. I mean, it's money. What the hell does it do? I mean, yeah, you buy things. Some people buy until they're in debt. How many people you're happy? You're never happy with enough. There's never enough. It seems when you're loaded. That's not everybody, but majority, I would say. And then you resort to doing drugs, all these other avenues that are not healthy at all. It's not normal. But what's an interesting thing that I gathered from reading Francis M. Pottinger's book is Behavior with Nutrition, comparing cooked to raw foods. And that was related with the cats. I mean, it's astounding how when the cats were eating cooked foods generation after generation for a little while, to reproductive behaviors, the sexual behaviors changed. Males were attracted to males. The behavior of the male was docile instead of aggressive, whereas the females were attracted sexually to female cats. I mean, what's that say with humans? And I don't really care, but I mean, it's just an interesting point to bring up. You think about that, and I'm not judging anybody because I've read in history, people are a certain way. They're either bisexual or whatever, or they're more perverse than others. So by knowing that, I would say for sure, that's just normal. But just that there is a big change with like the cooked food compared with raw, and how you behave and everything. And then how we're all brought up, it's not normal. I mean, be a house. We used to have teepees. For me, I'm Native American. I don't even know what the Polish have. We have huts. And the Russians, the Germans, what did we have 200 more years ago? I mean, that's why they got history books, but I'm going to have to look more into it. 500 years ago, what do we have? I mean, it's crazy. Egyptians, all these different countries. I'll guarantee you they weren't eating crappy food either back then. If whoever constructed the pyramids and how they thought, their thought processes was way more intellectual, higher up compared to now. And you eating this crappy food, it's not everybody, but I think the majority are. There's no percentages. And these people, these guys that are in like what I am, you ought to put a survey up to compare how people think, and their behaviors. You do a survey. And for fitness and everything. I mean, we always had to move around. You had to hunt. You got to move, man. You got to get your game. There's no guarantee you're getting anything for a hunting event for that to happen. It's just a lot of questions that just come up to my mind, What makes you happy? What are your goals? How are things being run now compared to way back when? Hundreds of years ago. Were people happy? I mean, geez, it makes me sound sick. The Great Depression. I mean, if you lived in, like with Price, that was just a little bit later. With his book, the natives were happy as ever. They didn't have any money. We're not being educated right. You don't even need to have schooling to learn, to be smart. I mean, it's so being brainwashed. You have to go to school. Why can't you teach them yourself, your kids or your whoever? You know, that ain't normal. I think, if you're, and then how people learn, you got the auditory, the visual, photographic memory, you got the savants, uh, and then when you're more fit, it's easier to recollect. And when you eat certain foods like high in chromium, like eggs, well, they have all that with the EPAs, and like fish, oily fish, help with your mental capacity. Like those are a lot of interesting factors to keep in mind. I'm rather perplexed by it. I'm a more sophisticated person, and I have the Myers-Briggs thing, the commander personality. I mean, and I like to talk or critique one another. I don't want to be like everything I say is right. I don't like just to have. I mean, granted, okay, if you want to follow whatever, but I mean, you could do your own path too. Weave your own path to success. Uh, but just watching, like, I don't even like to watch TV. I mean, yeah, we got the YouTube. I'm making my videos here. I do like to watch and learn on how to do things, and I go on YouTube the most of anything now. But I'm not addicted to it. But I mean, I'm not trying to be hypocritical. But in order to travel a lot, you would have to have some financial gain to be able to move around. I mean, unless you could barter with people, do some kind of work or help people do consultations. And I was thinking of doing that too for fitness with nutrition and to help save somebody's teeth. I'm going to do that because I healed my own. Dentistry, that's another thing. Dentists, most of them I believe are crooked, just like the medical doctors. I mean, we didn't have them way back when. And they were healthy and stuff like that. Revert back to Price again and his studies. They didn't have medical. There was no, this artificial junk with the plethora of side effects that kill you, and they allow it yet. Everybody's being paid off. I mean, it's just so unnatural. Modernization compared to the rural way of living, homesteading, or what even beyond, more primitive. Live in a tent, make your own survival things, but that depends on your condition. My situation is I'm type 1 diabetic, so that's a huge fact. I need the medication. It makes me aggravated. I don't like taking anything at all. I don't want to be outsmarted. I don't like it at all, but I'm not going to whine about it, but it's just like you're being brainwashed with so many things. Buy this product. Don't be foolish, You can't be so naive or to think, or aloofness to believe, everything people say. Like, you do your own path. I never just follow and believe everything somebody says. I'm a skeptic, and, I'm not going to believe everything at all. So, how are we here? Why are we here? And I mean, I love science, Carl Sagan. I love all the interesting things with space, even though it's so far away. But is it really? And it's just amazing how people can understand that the world is not. We're not the only ones here. I don't think either. I mean, and you don't have to be a genius. It's just got to reason things out. Okay? Look how far away all the planets are. What galaxy? There's millions of planets. There's millions of stars. I mean, we're not the only ones living just by, just by how many planets there are. The ratio. Say you find a planet, your ratio, your percentages. It's almost like a business thing. You could figure, you could orchestrate it, put it together. Is there other life forms beyond our planet? And hell yeah, I agree. I believe there is. There's no proof yet, but there's just by the volume, the sheer volume of our worlds, of the world itself, the universe. It's astronomical. It's totally unbelievable. And yeah, I strayed off on that, but on the matters, it's more or less a rambling, I guess, a a potpourri of everything. You know, how we think, by what we eat, how do we train, what did we, you know, we had to hunt, we had to look for our food, we had to walk for days sometimes to get food. You know, that's endurance beyond belief. You know, we had a group gathering to be successful. Now, modernized times, everybody goes here, I go there, you go there. You leave your folks out to die in a convalescent home or something, like nobody's going to help with you. You know, that's sad. It really is. I mean, certainly some people could take with their family members and try helping them out on their condition. I mean, you know, unless they can't do anything, they're a vegetable. But I mean, still, you know, they didn't leave them to die then. You know, like saying that if you're a Native American, your tribal members, you didn't leave the guy there to die, the oldest of them all. But yeah, I mean, just weird ways of why, you know, modernization to the primitive times. I think we ought to revert back to more primitive measures with how we eat and appreciate things. I mean, people don't appreciate nothing, and most people are spoiled rotten. I mean, it's ridiculous. You have to get a job. It teaches you nothing on learning, on nutrition, nothing about foraging, the land you know around you in your vicinity. It teaches you nothing. So it's like, well, we've got to change that, man. It's not normal. It's abnormal, you know, to think that way. And then, you know, okay, with the diets, with behavior. I know when I was eating vegan for 4 years, I was extremely extra sensitive, and I think it does something with your brain. It makes it, and it's not making it mean that it's a bad thing, but it makes you real delicate and more fragile by eating that way. But that's just me, my own observation. It's not proven, but I mean, I've noticed that with a lot of people. You know, when you do, you know, eating the vegan way, you are more critical, or more touchy, more sensitive compared to other people that eat, you know. And then I think the more natural, like Weston A Price, they seem more down to earth and realistic. I mean, you got to have food. You got to have like meat and fish. Realistically, I mean, no one lived successfully way back on a vegan diet. I mean, realistically, no, they didn't. Although I've seen a few videos scant, a brain surgeon, he's like 98 or he's still working. I mean, the runners, some of them are vegan, or they say they are, but I'm sure they might take something like a B12 injection or whatever. But why can't you have a little bit of the fish, or eat once a month a meat, or a small amount? I mean, cripes, you could have the Price's high vitamin butter or the cod liver oil, a little smidgen. It ain't gonna do no damage. That's not true. You have that even once a week, a little bit of that. It's so high in nutrient dense, valuable nutrients and minerals, everything, vitamins and minerals. You know, or one meal, a healthy, like, you know, raw stuff, meat or fish, or even milk. It's not gonna damage you. And then eat everything raw again. I mean, with the veggies, if that's what you wanted. But I mean, it ain't realistic that way. There's more of a motive beyond that. So, yeah, just your thoughts on how modernization is changed from the primitive ways. And what is your opinion, or how do you feel on what I just said? Or you have anything to add to it? I mean, it's just crazy. Like, to live happy and healthy, you don't need money. But I mean, if you want to travel, you got to find a way. And I just would like to be able to travel yet. I'm going to be 50 next week. And but I would like to travel around the world myself. And time's up. I heard the cuckoo. Oh, okay, it went. But all right, your opinions on that. And then also, wait a minute. Also, what people eat for the kids, with that's Price's book, was so most important thing was a special diet. Both genders will eat special foods to have healthy children. I bet you most of you didn't know that. And then from reading traditional foods are best medicine, that reinforces the mitochondrial DNA, the genetic makeup. By eating soundly, they have after generation healthy children with good teeth, facial features. I mean, that's what we need to revert back to, you know. So yeah, and it's not to be offended. You got to take it head on. And if you are real delicate, whatever, you're sensitive, then you have someone else help you, encourage you. That's not to gauge you as you are as an individual now, but just to understand that there could be improvements. If you have kids and children, you can improve upon them and to teach upon them to help for this world to be a better place. That's what I think in a nutshell. And I don't think, one president or whatever ruler of one country is the answer. I mean, that sounds absolutely insane and ludicrous, but the way this world is so populated now, it's actually, we need that. Or now the militaries, that we have formed, what are you supposed to do? They got all these powerful weapons, here we are bombing everything. Bye.